I often get questions from public school parents wondering why in the world the school won't help their child. So I want to talk about my theory on that today. Welcome to Ask Me About Dyslexia. My name is Pam Spock and I'm a dyslexia specialist. Today we're going to talk about my theory on why the public schools are not helping kids who have dyslexia. Now, I'm not talking about all public schools. This really varies from state to state. And you may be in a state that actually screens for dyslexia and offers the right kind of assistance in the public school, and the kids are actually getting the help that they need. If you are, count yourself blessed. That is fantastic. However, there are still a number of states in this country that either will not acknowledge that dyslexia exists or that are not doing enough about it. Now, it seems like a no-brainer. If the schools are mandated to provide free, appropriate public education to all students, then what about dyslexia? Why aren't they doing what they need to do for that? Well, here's my theory on that. It costs money to help kids who have dyslexia, because the best kind of instruction for them for reading and spelling is going to be using a structured literacy program one-on-one with a teacher who has been trained in that, and it needs to be several times a week in order to make good progress. This is expensive. If you think about that, let's say, for example, that there is a dyslexia teacher, let's call them, and they are able to meet with 7 students one-on-one for about an hour each day, and there's 5 days in the week. That is 35 hours. If they need to meet with each student 3 days a week, then they're only going to be able to work with 11 students. And that kind of And not only does it take that one-on-one instruction, but it can take a long time, as in several years, for a student to catch up. And for a student to make enough progress that they would be released from the program. And so there would need to be several of these dyslexia teachers at each school. You could, and this is what ends up happening sometimes, you could put students into small groups, 2, 3 really at the most, but they would really need to be at the same level, and they would need to be progressing at the same rate. And that is very difficult to do, to get them together at the same rate. Because like all of my students are completely different. They seem to progress at different rates, some very quickly, some very slowly, all for a variety of reasons, whether it's because of the severity of their dyslexia, whether it's how hard they're willing to work, whether it's if they have something else going on, such as ADHD or speech difficulties. So there's just lots and lots of reasons that some students progress more quickly than others. Also, attendance is a factor. So if you have a group of 3 and one of them is out, they're going to miss what the other ones are getting, and that's going to slow down the whole group. So really, ideally, the best kind of help is going to be individual instruction for at least a couple years, probably more like 3. So each school is going to have several teachers, and there's lots of dyslexic kids. Okay, research tells us that 1 in 5 people has dyslexia. That's a lot of students who need help. And each of these students needs several hours of this specialized individual instruction each week. So it's expensive. That's my theory about why they don't do it. That's my theory about why they don't do anything about it. If they don't name it, then they don't have to do anything about it. And that's sad. Because there is something that can be done about it. And so that's what I think. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree? Do you think that there's other reasons why states are not acknowledging that dyslexia exists? Why there's even states where the teachers are not allowed to say the word dyslexia, or the people who are doing the screening are not allowed to say dyslexia. So it's 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 changing. And so hopefully in the future, the schools will be able to do a better job, um, because this is something that the schools could help students with. And these poor students are falling through the cracks. Not everywhere, but a lot. And so lots of parents are very, very frustrated with this. And so I'd love to hear if you have had what your experience has been with the public school. Good, bad, ugly. And so share that with us in the comments section. And if you have any other questions, we'd love to hear those too. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.